Anthony, it's our second day in Washington, D.C., and ferocious females are coming into focus today. What do you think about that?
Ferocious females. Happy Friday. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. That's my friend Glenn.
You're watching the #1 show in hospitality. Hey, everybody. Welcome to No Vacancy Live. I am your host, Glenn Hausman, with my other amazing, incredible co-host, Mr. Anthony Melchiori, coming at you from Hotel Zena in Washington, D.C. Anthony, so great to see you, my friend.
Ferocious females. I like it. So Zena is all about females, and this hotel is amazing. We're going to show you some amazing artwork once our producer gets his frame right.
Ready. Boom.
Oh, there he is. Look at that.
Yeah, let's get a single shot. That's right outside the front of the building right there.
So this is right outside the front of the building, and we're what, 5 minutes from the White House?
Yeah, 5-minute walk.
Yeah, so that tells you the kind of proximity this hotel has. It's perfect. But look at that beautiful artwork, and we're going to talk to a young lady named Natalie who's going to tell us about that artwork. But before we do that, our producer is going to show us another beautiful shot, and then we're going to bring in our host, Natalie.
Yeah.
So being in D.C., what does it feel like a couple of days after the election?
I'll tell you, it's feeling good. Yesterday when we had on Chip Rogers on the show, we were talking about how a lot of the city was boarded up for the fear that something would happen. That didn't happen. It was great walking around this morning, Anthony, and seeing everyone pulling those boards down and things seeming to get back to a sense of normalcy.
Yeah, it really did. And I'll tell you something. We both traveled all over the world, and I've never felt the feeling I had the first night I came, last night, and even this morning when I went to get something, some juice at Starbucks. It was just a weird feeling. I can't say it's a good feeling or bad feeling.
Right.
It's just the air feels different, and again, not good or bad. It's just a weird kind of feeling in the air right now, and I don't know maybe why.
You're feeling motivated and feeling good because of the Honorable Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Wow, Ruth Bader Ginsburg! Look at that.
Let's bring it up on a full screen right there. That's an interesting piece of artwork. I love it.
And as soon as you walk into the Hotel Zena, that's what you see. And again, not a political statement. That is about the power of a woman who's done so much for the movement of women. And I think this is a perfect time to bring in our guest to talk about.
Do you think it's a perfect time to bring in our guest? Well, let's bring her in, Natalie Vachon.
Yay! Thank you for having me.
Natalie, you're the first guest to ever give themselves a round of applause to be on our show.
I mean, that's my own general philosophy. I'm so proud of myself that I just want to give myself my own flowers.
Well, that's great. Now, behind you, Natalie, there's all of these awesome buttons, aren't there?
Yeah. That's one of our best pieces here at Hotel Zena. So this is actually a art exhibit that is comprised of 12,000 custom design protest buttons. So we affectionately call it our button wall, but the official name for it is called Talking Sequins. And if you actually go throughout it, it's meant to evoke a gown. A shimmering gown, because art, fashion, and activism have been so long entwined to each other that we wanted to pay tribute to it.
That's awesome. I'm actually looking over there where the buttons are. So if people see me looking off screen, that's what I'm doing. It looks really awesome. Equality.
Yeah, Anthony got one too. He was going through it.
That's my favorite. My girls are going to love that spot. But I want to show the Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
We're bringing it back on. Boom. Right
again.
There.
Everyone loves Ruth.
Talk through that.
Isn't that amazing? So this is probably the most famous piece at Hotel Zena. So it is a mural of the late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and it is comprised of a pretty unique art material.
I can't wait to hear the reaction.
I know. It is comprised out of 20,000 organic hand-painted tampon applicators.
Oh my God. I did not know that.
Yeah, so we worked with an incredible company called Cora, and Cora's mission is to really help activate and help provide assets for girls in need. So for every purchase of a Cora product, it actually goes to a woman who needs feminine hygiene products as well. So we wanted to make sure that it was art with a message.
Hey, Natalie, quick question for you coming from Holly O'Hara. Where exactly is this hotel located here in DC?
Great question. So we are located actually a really awesome location. So we're right between 14th Street corridor and downtown DC. So for people who aren't really familiar with DC, 14th Street is like the place to go to. Lots of really great bars, restaurants, music venues. So we're pretty lucky with where we're sort of located.
The hotel that's right over there, was that the former Washington Hilton, very famous property? It's now called the Washington something
Plaza.
Else Washington Plaza.
Washington Plaza, yeah, right across the street from us. They had a really, really nice location too.
How far is the Watergate? I want to go over to the Watergate Hotel.
The Watergate's DC is a very walkable city, but you're looking at a good like 20 minutes. So on a day like today, I would say go for it.
You know, we're New Yorkers, right?
I'll get a scooter.
So you'll be there in like 5 minutes.
So tell us about the murals that are outside the building.
Aren't they awesome?
Oh, well, that's the front desk.
That's the front desk, and that's for those of you who can't see. Let me bring it up a little bit better.
Get a little closer to that,
Oh,
David.
look at
There you go.
that! Look at that! That's all high-heeled shoes.
All high-heeled shoes. Everybody walks in and they're like, that cannot be what I think it is. It's made out of all. It's created by an artist named Willie Cole. He's just fantastic. And he uses a lot of upcycled materials in all of his arts. And one of the pieces that he's created for us is a front desk that is comprised entirely out of high heels.
Yeah, now I noticed that to the right of the front desk, all of those words, it's hard to see here on the camera, but they're all like phrases and stuff like that about shoes. David is going over there now.
Yeah.
Let's see if we could read any of that.
They're pretty funny.
Yep. I deserve new shoes.
I deserve new shoes. If I'm not wearing heels, I don't care. It's like, think of that really famous Fred Astaire quote, or like everything that Fred Astaire was doing, Ginger Rogers doing backwards in heels.
That's my favorite.
Isn't that the best?
Because it's true.
It is true. She was awesome.
Yeah. And so the paintings outside, talk about the ones of the murals on the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was done, we have over 60 pieces of original art here at Hotel Zena. And for us, because we were doing a lot of international artists as well, we wanted to take advantage of all of the great DC local artists. So that specific mural was created by the insanely talented Sita Sideli, aka Miss Shea Love. And she was actually starting to paint it back in March.
Right.
It's called Guardians of the Four. Oh my God, I'm messing it up. I'm so excited about it, but it's something that people are very super into. Like they walk by, especially when during the summer, there's a lot of marches going on, even before we open, and people just taking pictures of those murals.
Right.
Maybe David can go out there again and show those murals, because I think they're really fascinating, and I really think it's become, and it's going to become very iconic as the Hotel Zena becomes, a staple here. I think it's going to be an icon. You can't miss him.
Yeah, while we're waiting for him to get out there and get situated, if you guys can see the Zena behind me, it's actually a light bright board. Then you could, and there's a pegs that you can put in with different colors, and it all lights up. And everybody's encouraged to make their own designs over there, which is pretty cool. And now let's go back to
it's just. There you go.
There it is. Oh, they're so fabulous. And they're huge too. I don't think people realize how big they are, but they go right up the door.
It's like 5 floors.
Yeah,
right?
It's 5 floors. And it took her about a month and a half to create. Wow. We have a really cool time lapse of it that I can send you guys later.
So talk through them again one more time, just since we're looking at them.
Sure. So she really wanted to create a piece that really was an atmosphere of intrigue. She wanted to make this pair of very fierce yet very curious warrior sentinel women. They're here to protect Mother Earth. They're watching over not only our visitors, but really over the local neighborhood for DC.
That's pretty awesome.
Isn't it fab?
I love it. So what inspired you to do this particular type of mural on the wall?
Listen, we wanted to make sure that when you were coming to Hotel Zena, you get the concept and you get the story of it right away. Women empowerment is the story of our hotel, and we wanted to show a pair of very empowered women, because Miss Shea Love always loves to invoke activism and invoke fierce women in her art. She really was the perfect choice to do it. We couldn't be happier with her.
Wow. And I think it takes a lot of courage from a marketing standpoint and a hotel standpoint. We were talking off camera. You and I know a lot of the same people. Our friend Jenna Bayshore, you know her as Jenna Aaron. We're both her best friends. And
she has no idea.
Right. We have a lot of stories, but and we know the same people from other hotels, and we probably worked in the same hotels. So we know how difficult it is to make a statement when you open a hotel.
Right.
And are you sure, from a financial standpoint, from a marketing standpoint, are you going to isolate part of your market base if you open a hotel like this? So I would imagine there was some trepidation of really opening a hotel that's so woman focused.
Mm-hmm.
And again, on behalf of my 3 daughters, this is going to be the hotel we come to because they're going to love to see this.
Mm-hmm.
But was there a point where it's like, okay, let's talk about this. Let's like, is this a good decision?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially when you do a concept that, can be seen as controversial. I think for us, this was the brainchild of our incredible interior designer. Her name is Andrea Sheehan. She's been designing hotels for 30 years. And a lot of the hotels that she has designed in the past are very masculine. You think of masculine hotels, you think of like dark wood and like sort of like very sexy sort of intriguing atmosphere. And she really wanted to say, well, if the hotel was designed by women for women, what would it look like? Mm-hmm. And there were none. There were none out there. This is really the first of its kind. And we understand the concept is not going to be for everybody. But if you think about it,
well, no concept is for everybody.
Exactly. No concept is for everybody. And there's going to be things in here that we completely recognize are controversial for some people. The Ruth Bader Ginsburg mural is very controversial for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's something about a Supreme Court justice that's honoring them is
right.
a problem in today's society. But, Natalie, this is just really great. We're getting, I don't know if you can see all the comments, but people are freaking out about how awesome this is.
Thanks, everyone.
Both. So that's great. I love the Zena sign behind me. Why Zena, Zena? Why not just go all full warrior princess and Zena?
Good question. So we are part of the unofficial Z collection as part of Viceroy Hotels. Hi Eve. That's one of our team members. And we love Zena Warrior Princess. She's so fabulous, but we wanted to make sure it was tying into the rest of the brand. So we just X'd out the little X and we wanted to put the Z in there instead.
Howard Smith is asking, he's curious if the Zena brand is expected to go to other markets.
You'll have to stay tuned.
God, somebody's awfully coy. I don't know why you wouldn't. I mean, this is such a great market to design new hotels and build new hotels right now.
Mm-hmm. I know.
It's funny that you say that this is. Well, it's not funny. It's kind of sad that this is the first hotel that's marketed this way. The Algonquin Hotel did, and have an article somewhere in the archives, early on for marketing directly to the women traveler. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of different packages, making them feel safe, making them feel that the hotel's for them. Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I haven't seen anything like that outside of this hotel. So it's been 70 years before someone thought it was a good idea to market to not so much. I wouldn't say this isn't marketed to women at all. I think this is
not at all.
This is just like I have daughters. I have a wife. This is just, listen, we go into masculine hotels. Why not come to a hotel like this? But I got to be honest with you. What the painting of Ruth Bader Ginsburg is made of is brilliant and just overwhelming that we can do that. And at this day and age, that is acceptable. And if it wasn't acceptable, who cares?
Hey, Anthony, let me throw this out. I don't know if you went to the men's room here, but the piece of artwork in the men's room is the symbol for a guy, but inside the circle is a woman's period pills. Birth control.
We get the Ruth Bader Ginsburg mural on the brain.
Yeah. So birth control pills. I think that was pretty awesome, especially for the men's bathroom as well. I thought that was pretty bold. And we got another piece of artwork, I think, coming up over here.
Oh, one of my favorites. And you will hear me say that all throughout this podcast. So when we talk about some of the art that we have in here, the story of women's empowerment is not just one for the United States of America. This has been a story that's been happening for years and years since the beginning of time. So we wanted to make sure that we had the global stories as well that was brought into our hotel. Right. So this piece is actually a jacket that was created by the Saheli women in India. And the Saheli Women is an organization that was started to help women in India have a job that has fair wages, medical benefits, as well as creating these really beautiful pieces of sustainable art and fabric. So if you look really closely on that piece, you're going to see that there's portraits on the jacket. Those are all actual portraits of the Saheli women. They all took the time to stitch their own faces into the jacket so their art can be represented in a brand new city, in a brand new country. And we could not be prouder to represent their amazing efforts here.
That's pretty awesome.
Isn't it fab?
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Anthony, what is your thoughts on that piece of artwork?
The first thing, again, being a marketing guy, the first thing I go to is every region you go into, every country you go into, every town you go into, there are women that are known, like Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and women that aren't known. And so this brand is a brand that travels. So you have a Hilton, you have a Marriott, you have any brand, and it is what it is when it gets there. Well, this, you find a building and then you say to the area, to the town, go, who are we? And then that kind of gets developed from the town, from the area, from the country. So I haven't seen a brand that you can literally just get a building and build the brand from the neighborhood or from the state or from that country. It's fascinating to me.
Yeah, and I to piggyback off of that, everyone who has represented the pieces here for Hotel Zena, they were on board with the concept from day one. They thought this was such a great idea. They loved that we were inviting them to be a part of this. And the stories that we're telling here, like I said before, are really on a global standpoint, because we want to represent all of the incredible work that's been done by women in India. We want to pinpoint some of the incredible historical theme makers that live in England or that live in Sweden, etc. So it's been really a great opportunity for me to tour people around, especially who have ties to that country, and say, oh, this is the Saheli women, they're from India, and people who are from India are like, oh my God, I know exactly what you're talking about. I can't believe that you have them here. So it's been really rewarding.
You know, and I'm not a guest book guy. I don't like guest books. Even in bed and breakfast, I'm just not that guy. I think every experience is individual, and hopefully when you say goodbye to me or you write me a letter, that spirit comes through. But I don't need you to read a guest book to see how wonderful the hotel is. But if there's any hotel that needed a guest book, this hotel does. Because every little girl, like, what does this mean to you? What does this hotel mean to you? What does that button mean to you? What does women empowerment mean to you? I would sit there and read that, like if I was having a drink at the bar, and probably cry my eyes out.
Oh God, I don't want people to cry.
No, it's too late. Anthony's already crying.
Anthony's a big crybaby. Just ask Jenna. I'm a big crybaby.
I like what Mike is saying. Plays really into what Anthony's saying here. Thought-provoking instead of just a place to say.
Yes, exactly.
Need, I think, a little bit more of that.
And a history lesson.
Yes.
Exactly. I mean, there are some people who are on here who I had never heard of before, and to get that education and to hear that, you know, we have a portrait of Gloria Steinem before, and I knew who she was. I had heard her name in pop culture before, but to actually hear of her accomplishments and hear what she has done for women's empowerment, such as she's the co-founder of Take Your Daughter to Work Day. I had no idea about
Me either.
that
I just found that out. Really?
Yeah. So she, just to hear these experiences and really hear how all of these women have impacted what we know as life is now is fantastic. And we also recognize that, you know, we are here to celebrate female empowerment, but we also recognize there's still a ton of work to do.
True, but as much as women have ascended in society, so has our producer David up to the roof.
Look at that view.
Look at that segue. Forget about the view.
Thanks, Anthony.
Yeah.
Wow. That's the
Isn't
bar.
that
That's the
beautiful?
Rooftop Bar. Wow.
Yeah. So that bar is actually opening up in spring 2021. The name of the bar is called Hetty's Rooftop Bar and Lounge, and is named after. It is named after the very famous actress Hedy Lamarr.
Now tell that story, because that's a fascinating story.
Oh God. We say the name Hedy Lamarr, and most people say what you just said. Oh, the very famous actress.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't know is that she was also a very famous inventor.
Yep.
She was an incredible mathematician. She helped write code for radio frequencies. She had a lot of layers to her. And we wanted to, in the spirit of Hotel Zena, recognize her accomplishments and sort of pay tribute to her in our own way.
Yeah, what a great tribute, and to have, because the Rooftop Bar is kind of sexy, it's kind of cool, which she was, right? But she was also this incredibly, like just incredibly smart woman. I just read something about her a couple of years ago, and I was absolutely blown away and fascinated. She has more patents than most people. I think she's like in the top 10 patents in the world or something. It's just a fascinating person, and just the economy of that brain of being this actress, being this famous sex symbol, and then also being this just really smart lady, but did not get the credit. Because it took away from her as a starlet, which is a shame. Whereas today, I think you can have both. Like if you look at Jodie Foster, you look at Brooke Shields, they went to Ivy League schools, and that's accepted. But back then, maybe it wasn't.
Yep, absolutely. So that concept is really throughout the hotel. It's like these little stories here and there where people are like, oh, tell us more about this. And we're able to explain the concept and the story and why really we picked these incredible women to showcase. And men, there's art that also pays tribute to men here, because there are men here who have also fought for women's equality. And we also want to thank them for what they've done.
You're welcome. So,
yay!
So, tell us the story behind the Statue of Liberty. Behind this, like why? What was the moment? When did you decide? Like, why the Statue of Liberty? Was there some controversy about bringing it in? Is there a story behind it?
Yeah. So, I mean, how can you have a hotel that celebrates female empowerment and not celebrate one of the most famous female figures in American history? So there was no controversy, and there was also no question about really having the Statue of Liberty in this specific hotel. This was done by also a local muralist, because we also want to shout out our local muralist. Her name is Rose Jaff. She is amazing. She has contributed to the Women's March in the past as well, and it's a huge mural. Yeah, it goes from almost floor to ceiling, and it has.
Hold on.
This
I want to try to give people a better
Anthony's head is blocking. Yeah, you can see it.
All right.
Liberty for all at the base, of course. Like, how could we not pay tribute to Lady Liberty? She's just such an iconic figure.
Another great question here. This one from Gordon. How is it determined which great female leaders are going to be recognized? So many, so precious wall space.
It was a process. And again, I have to shout out Andrea, our designer, because her team went through thousands of stories, because there are thousands of people, millions of people who have really contributed to where we are now. They went through to some local artists. They went and said, here's a list of, who we think should be recognized, do some research, find out why you think they would be so great to include on here. And there was a short list that was created, and the pieces that you see now are the result of that short list.
Is there someone that has not been included that in retrospect, so, you know what, we got to put them in?
Maybe someone who's leaving.
No, besides our vice president-elect.
Oh my God.
But is there anyone that walked in and said, hey, where's so-and-so, or where's so-and-so? Has that happened?
Not yet.
That's great.
There's a lot of pieces in here. We have pieces of Shirley Chisholm, who was the first African-American congresswoman. Yeah. We have portraits of Rosa Parks as well, who of course has done so much for civil rights and everything with that. We have portraits of people who have fought for gender equality, for LGBTQ plus rights as well. So no one has come in and said, well, you're not representing this specific niche of people enough. Where's this person? Because I think once we walk them through the pieces that we have now, they're like, oh, this is like, I love this person. I think
you know what's so funny with the culture that we live in now, where everybody's ready to jump if somebody's not included, that hasn't been the case. Says about the thought process, about the sensitivity and the beautiful way you guys went about really making sure everyone's included, and how much thought went into it. So I applaud you.
Thank you. Representation matters. We want people to feel like this is a very inclusive space.
Now, up on the rooftop where we're showing right now, you're going to be doing movies and stuff like that as well next summer?
Yeah, that's a projector. So when we open next year, when that rooftop and pool space opens next year.
Pool. I'm going to get a single shot on that.
Where's the pool?
Yeah, that's our projector space. As long as he doesn't jump it. I'm scared. Isn't that view crazy? Yeah, that projector will show. So we're planning on doing summer film series. We're planning on working with some local artists to do some visual art galleries as well. I mean, there's just so much planned for this space, but we just are waiting for next year when it's going to be nice, even though it's beautiful out today to really sort of helpfully impact that space. And actually, if I can make one quick comment, Rose Jeff, who did the Statue of Liberty, also did that space of artwork underneath our cabana as well. We just loved her pieces so much.
We're going back there. Let's get a
yeah.
closer look at that.
There they are, dancing druids.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Yep, she did that space as well. We just love her work so much.
I love that. I love that piece.
Isn't that fabulous?
Now, wow, look at that. That is beautiful. Good shot, David. That is beautiful.
Yeah. All right. So Caitlin says, hey, I imagine there'll be a lot of women in business wanting to visit Zena, but you don't have large conferences or convention space here, but you do have a little space behind the button wall, right?
Yes, we do. So we have a number of flexible spaces in here. For large conference spaces, not really. Most of the spaces here are going to be for maybe like again, I'm talking about like non-COVID times, like 150 to 200 people is really where we see peak maximum occupancy. But we have a number of flexible spaces in here. We have a beautiful conference room, which can fit about 16 people, great AV technologies. This spot that we're in right now is going to be perfect for receptions and perfect for weddings, which we have a couple of weddings booked for next year here in this space, if you can believe it. And then there's also some space behind me where it's a semi-private. We have an air wall if you wanted to do. We had a book signing on Sunday, so we set up socially distant tables as well for people to be out there. So
this is a great hotel for a medium-sized business to take the entire hotel, from the rooftop to this space, to the bar. And it's a history lesson as you go through.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part museum, it's part art gallery, and it's part hotel conference space.
Mm-hmm.
And it has a beautiful pool deck. So it just feels, out of all the hotel, like this feels like something that I would want to rent for my entire group.
Yeah.
Conference room.
Yeah, that's actually, so this is our Belmont Room, and it's named after Alva Belmont, who was a very prominent suffragette back in New York City. So this space can be used as a breakout room. So it has an air wall in the middle that we can close. So if you want to do a small meeting in one spot, you're welcome to. Another small meeting where David is standing. And also you can pull that air wall in and it becomes one big space.
Right. Interesting. Hey, Anthony. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why that happened with the camera.
Listen, you're in front of me. You can't see me, so you just need to see more of me. I understand.
Yeah, I do.
He's taking up all my spotlight right now.
Look at you directly. I had to turn around. Oh, that is a beautiful sight to see.
So let me, if I can ask you some questions about your career.
Sure.
You're a successful woman in the hospitality career sector. When you were a young lady coming up, not that you're not a young lady now, but when you first started in this business to now,
Mm-hmm.
how's it changed?
Oh my God.
For you as a female.
Yeah, it's been so different. You know, we were talking about this before the show started, but I started my hospitality career in New York. And one of the things that I was really blessed with is to work with a lot of amazing female leaders. You know, I'm going to shout out two of them right now. Alexandra Withers, who was a director of marketing at Highgate and is now the VP of Edition Hotels. Like, she had incredible effort in my career. And the other one is Ilana Friedman, who's the chief marketing officer of AKA. I love them to pieces. There weren't a ton of women in hospitality that I worked in. Not a ton of focus on representation and making sure that female voices were brought to the forefront. That has changed so much over the last 10 years. I really feel like there is a concerted effort by businesses, even for, you know, whether it's hospitality, whether it's leisure, whether it's, you know, all of these other different sectors, to bring those voices to the forefront. And now, you know, I'm a little bit older and I feel like I'm more confident versus just being like, oh my God, I'm so scared. What are the men going to think when I'm like going through and saying all of my opinions? Now that opinion is not only asked for, but encouraged.
Yeah, there's a confidence and an ease about you, even when we were talking off camera, that you've been there, you've done that,
Mm-hmm.
you got this. I'm not trying to impress anybody. I can compete with anyone. You just feel that essence and aura from you.
Thank you.
But you also talk off camera about men that have been very important in your career. You don't have to mention them if you don't want to, but
I am.
But I think that's important that you've had really good leaders that were also men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my first boss in hospitality, who was an executive assistant to, a wonderful man. His name is Don Frazier. He has since passed on, but he also took that time to mentor me and, tell me, don't be afraid to ask questions. Like, this is the only way that you get ahead, especially in New York, where, you can't be timid and you can't be shy.
Oh, no.
Yeah, they will eat you alive.
But you know what? Aggressiveness is rewarded. It's one city that if you're really aggressive in a good way, in a positive way, not about you way, it will be recognized.
Exactly. So, he was just so instrumental. I think he and Alex were really the ones that, took me under their wings and encouraged me to be who I am now. And the other one who I'm going to shout out is also from AKA. His name is Larry Corman, and he is one of the best CEOs that I've ever worked with. And he's another one who's like, I want the women in my company to feel comfortable and to feel that this is a safe space. And you really felt it.
Well, he's been on our show, right, Glenn?
Oh, he has. Larry is such an awesome guy.
He's great.
I really, really like
We
him.
love him.
All right, so I think we are going to see a room over here.
My favorite in the whole hotel.
You have hotel room here?
Yeah.
All right. Hold on a second. It's your favorite?
I hate to be playing favorites, but once you walk in, you're going to see why.
I'm just
Look
curious as to why
at
Anthony and I don't have that room. That's all.
I was saving it for myself. Yeah, so you're in our Gia Suite right now. So this is the largest suite in Hotel Zena. It's about, I'll say, a little over 1,000 square feet. Floor to ceiling windows. Look at that view. I mean, It's just absolutely gorgeous. And this space is
It's a great day out there.
I mean, come on, you can't beat that view. I mean, it's a different side of DC, right, but it's still really great. So a lot of really incredible art pieces in there.
Giant face. That's so cool.
Oh, that is a face that is made entirely out of pound sterling.
Wow. Why does that room remind me of I Dream of Jeannie?
I don't know. What an interesting thing to remind you of. Yeah, so this is, this room is going to be used for, if we have a VIP client, if you need a space to do interviews, it also can be used to do these small breakout meetings.
Look at that.
Isn't that face crazy?
I thought the room reminded me of Bewitched.
Focus on that painting. Focus on that painting. Look at that. That is absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
Now, who did that?
Oh God, you're going to put me on the spot. I don't remember who did that exact piece. I'm so sorry.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah.
And what does it represent? What is it telling me?
I mean, she's just looking over you right now and making sure that you just feel comfortable and that you feel great. I mean, you're going to see in the Gia Suite that a lot. So Gia was the name of a goddess, like an earth goddess. And we really wanted to make sure that all of the elements in there paid tribute to Mother Nature. So you'll see that the materials are very soft, very natural. There's a lot of green pops in here. And I don't know about you, but I'm somebody who loves pops of green and nature in any place that I'm going into. There's some art in there as well that, really focuses on the female experiences. There's some books in there that, you're welcome to read that talk about different autobiographies. We have Nancy Reagan's autobiography in there. We have RBG's autobiography. We have Feminine Mystique, because you can't be a hotel celebrator without talking about that. Yep. But it's just a really peaceful space. Wow.
I tell you, I love stories about hotels, and I talk about it ad nauseam on the show, that sick and tired of cookie cutters. Everybody's sick and tired of cookie cutters.
For sure.
Listen, when you run into a business meeting and you're busy and or maybe you stop to have a quick breakfast, and you can spend 3 minutes looking at a painting or reading something or reading a book or looking at a button that inspires you, or buy a button to bring back home to one of your girls. Or like this morning, I was taking pictures and sending them to my girls, and they were like, "Oh my God, where's that? Oh my God, where is that?" That to me is, part of travel. Because we all know what the airports look like. We all know what the Starbucks look like. We all know what the Holiday Inn and Marriott look like. But we don't learn anything.
Right.
Like we traveled hundreds of thousands of miles, and a lot of times you don't learn anything. I mean, I feel like I've learned more in this hotel than I have in a year of travel.
Yeah. And listen, I could keep going too, but all the space. Look at that bathroom. Come on, man. Right. Like, how could you not feel inspired if you're walking around?
Right, pet friendly, just female pets, John. Just female pets.
John, we are a pet friendly hotel. Bring your furry friends down, 100%.
Wow, that is really cool.
Well, Glenn's my only furry friend.
Hey, look, I shaved early this week. I mean, don't give me too much of a hard.
Oh, what's that? What are we looking at there?
Oh, so those are some. I mean, listen, we want to make sure that people are looking at that butterfly mural right over the bed.
My daughters would love that. My mother-in-law, when she passed away, there was a butterfly that flew into our yard. So butterfly represents grandma. So we would love that.
That's absolutely beautiful. All right.
Thank you, David.
Thank you,
Good
David.
job.
We're gonna move you. Let's see if you, Dave. We'll see if you go somewhere else.
So with all the things that you've done in your career, how's it feel to be in a hotel like this? That as a female hospitality expert, as a marketer, how does it feel to really get into something like this? Because before you're really, you have something to market, obviously, in every hotel. But this, I can't imagine as a successful woman in hospitality, how this makes you feel. So how does it feel running to work every day?
Inspiring. And honestly, I can't believe I get to come to work every day and talk about this property and our other property who's up the street, Viceroy, Washington, D.C. One of the testaments of the Viceroy brand, which we fall under, is, we are hosts first and always. We're a hotel, but we want to make sure that we're giving our travelers incredible experiences, and not only the travelers and the guests that come here, but to make sure that the team also feels inspired by everything that they see every day. For me personally, I can say that I feel like overwhelmed sometimes when I walk through and I'm reading about the stories of the different artists and the different pieces that they've chosen to represent. I feel like my job can be too easy at this point because, listen, as a marketer, there's so much for me to talk about. The concept is so inspiring. Sometimes I'm like, where do I even begin? But I think everyone has been so receptive to
Natalie,
it. At the point.
I heard
It's
you
crazy.
wanted to talk about this piece of artwork.
Oh my God, this is such a great piece.
This is my favorite piece. Go ahead, say it.
I can't. So this was done by a Turkish artist. Her name is Pinar Baklan. It's called Women Nature. And it is, because we're in the Gia Suite and we want to make sure that we're bringing nature forth, it is the lower half of the female body shaped like a leaf.
Yeah,
it's a sculpture.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely. And we posted this to our Instagram page a couple of days ago, and people just love this piece. They love this piece. And I know Pinar has been like, oh my God, there's so many people who are like trying to buy this off of it. We're like, no, this is our piece.
That's excellent. Okay. So Dave, you could go and go check
out. You mentioned a good point. You're a marketer, I'm a marketer. Glenn's a marketer. The ability to sell things out of this hotel, I'd imagine, is limitless.
It is as far as the story, first and foremost. People can, the buttons that will actually be added to our Z Shed, which we also have down in the lobby. And the Z Shed is something that we created as part rental shop and part retail space. So if you're staying at Hotel Zena, you have access to borrow for 2 hours certain items. So for example, if you want to take a bicycle ride around the city, and DC is one of the most bike-friendly cities in the nation. Like if you come here and you're not biking, if you have the ability to do so, of course, like you're doing something wrong. So we have the opportunity for our guests to go bike around the city, but we also have a retail space. So we have T-shirts with Hotel Zena on it. We're going to start selling those buttons as well.
A picture of Glenn.
Like, look,
They want to make a profit here.
So these are in our hallways. This is in our hallways right now.
What does that say? David, stop there. Oh, where'd he go? What does that say?
Politicians are not doctors.
Really?
Are
you sure about that?
Contrast to current opinion at this point. A lot of the art in here is very subtle. You'll find out the story if you ask me or ask one of the team members here. But some of them, we're pretty, on the nose with it.
I love that. My body wasn't made for your legislation.
And I just want to apologize to everyone listening to the audio feed today. Go check out our video feed of this show because you're going to miss out on a lot of great artwork.
Oh, yeah. You know what? If you are on the podcast today and you're not seeing this, you need to go back and watch this because I apologize, but this is phenomenal. And I'll tell you, this is one of the reasons I love this business. There's a soul to this hotel and to the mission. And there's a couple of projects I'm working on, and you're making me rethink some of the things that I'm thinking right now based on this hotel. It's just because it has a purpose. This is what I always say. I say restaurants are a want business. You go, I want sushi, I want pizza, I want a hamburger. Of course you need to eat, but you have 100 choices. Hotels are a need business. You come into the city to do business. You come in the city to do tourism. You don't come to the city typically to stay in a hotel because of the hotel. You have a need to sleep and to take a shower and to have your home away from home. This gives you a reason to be in the hotel. This is not a need-based product. This is a want-based product.
Yep.
And I think the more you can do a hotel like this and really make you I feel something. I feel emotion to this hotel. And also, since you're telling this story, I'll be honest with you, I felt it when I walked in last night and I felt it this morning, but it didn't even come alive until you started talking about it. Like when you start talking about your enthusiasm for this hotel really has inspired me and has given me so many thoughts for different things I'm working on. So thank you.
Anthony, let me tell you something that I think is really cool. We're all dealing with this physical distancing right now, and we all have these little spots on the floor, but look what they did on this one.
I can't
Instead
see
of
it.
having just regular spots,
I can't see what it says.
it says, know what must be done. Knowing what must be done does away with fear. Rosa Parks. So they have all of these different inspirational quotes as your places to stand. Women belong in all places where decisions are being made. RBG.
We love her.
Wow.
We love her. We love her. And then this is one of our new one. Get in good trouble. Our man John Lewis.
But I love the fact that you're having these quotes on the floor. It's absolutely amazing. Gloria Steinem's quote.
Yeah.
Is Dorothy Parker represented here?
No, unfortunately not.
Wow.
No, I know.
Okay, now Dorothy
Slap
Parker.
on the face, right?
Dorothy Parker was really a female trailblazer back in the 20s. She was one of the first writers for, I think, Vanity Fair, female writers. And of course, the Algonquin is basically a big tribute to her in the Round Table. And,
right.
And so I'll tell you a quick story. She has amazing quotes. One of my favorite quotes is, "I love a martini, 2 at the most, 3 of them under the table, 4 of them under the host." And so what I did was, I took all these quotes, or we took all these quotes, and we put them on cocktail napkins. And we didn't sell them. We had them on cocktail napkins. Everybody loved them. Everybody took them. They loved them at the Algonquin. And I get a letter. I'm in my office. I'm general manager of Algonquin. I get a letter, and Jenna can tell you the story. Our friend Jenna. Yeah. I get a letter from the NAACP. I say, NAACP. Glenn, do you know the story?
I don't.
I was like, NAACP. What did I ever do to the NAACP?
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
And so when Dorothy Parker passed away, she gave her estate to Martin Luther King. When Martin Luther King passed away, he gave his estate to NAACP. So they told me to cease and desist. But since the quotes were in the public forum, I was allowed to use them according to my attorneys. So we just sent them a very nice letter and say we're celebrating her and we're celebrating her love for mankind. And we don't think that we're doing anything wrong. We never heard from them again. But imagine, this is what I love about the industry. I'm a little guy from Brooklyn trying to run a hotel and make a career and pay my mortgage. And here I am getting a serious letter from NAACP about Dorothy Parker, who gave her estate to Martin. There was such a history lesson in there for me, and such an amazing thing. So the Algonquin has taught me so much about music and about history and about the Round Table, and it's just like it's amazing. These hotels done well could really not only part of American culture, but really give you a history lesson.
All right, now let me hit that button.
And honestly, it's a great segue to what you had just said about, asking if Dorothy Parker was represented in this hotel.
I want her in this hotel.
I'll make it happen somehow.
Right.
I think, there's so many stories. There are a lot of people who we could have fit in. And honestly, for example, we're looking at our wall of honor right there. That's Greta Thunberg.
Astronaut.
Yep. So you're going to see a lot of portraits on here of both men and women who have helped contribute to gender equality and to civil rights and, the fight for female empowerment. This is a wall of 221 figures.
Now with the gentleman, who's that? Who's the gentleman in that picture?
Oh God,
I got you.
Yeah,
again.
don't put me on the spot. So we have an art book that is on our website right now. So for people who are listening to the podcast, and
there's a QR code or something.
So we are going to have a QR code. Oh, you listen, the Queen Elizabeth right there. Yep. So we have an art book on our website right now, hotelzena.com. So if you are listening and not watching the podcast, and you want to actually see the pieces that we're talking about, hotelzena.com, and we have an art book linked. Actually, somebody linked it in the chat as well. So thank you so much that you can go through and learn about this.
That's pretty cool. Awesome.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah. So last night we had the opportunity to eat a little bit over here.
Oh
I want you to tell
God.
everybody what you told
Fresh
me.
Cocktails.
Okay.
Go ahead, Anthony.
I got to get it out because I forgot.
Hamburger.
Why don't you bring our audience through what happened last night when I had a bite of a hamburger? Tell them what happened.
So I don't think I've ever seen you really eat a hamburger or get really all that excited about any food, but you had this burger and he just grabbed it and just like looked at it and then took a bite and it's like, oh my God, this is the best hamburger I've had in my life. Oh my God, I can't believe it. This is the best.
Wow.
And then what I did was I ran
running into the kitchen.
I was trying to find the kitchen, running around to tell the chef that this is so I grabbed one of the managers who was helping us. And I said, you've got to tell the chef these words and quote me.
Yeah.
This is the best FUCK hamburger I've ever had in my life.
It's good, right? Yeah. So
No, literally. Wait, hold on. Stop the presses. Okay. If you want the best hamburger in America,
oh Lord,
it's at this hotel. Period. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I am not kidding.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And what I love about it is it was so unexpected. I know the chef brought out a lot of food and he's trying to impress us and all that. And the food was amazing. Everything was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But when you can get the best hamburger you've ever had, the other best hamburger I had, believe it or not, when I was a little kid, it was somewhere in Baltimore. It was somewhere, and I can't remember where it was, but it was the best hamburger. Up until that point, I've never had a better hamburger. And last night, I shot out of my chair, screaming at the top of my lungs. Best hamburger I've ever had.
Oh my God!
It was insane. And let's not forget the chicken sandwich. It was also
it was great.
Yeah,
it was great.
We've had a lot of people who walk in and they're like, our restaurant, Fig Leaf Bar and Lounge, has been open for a month. And already word is getting out about this fried chicken.
Well, your
sandwich.
your chef's got some major pedigree.
Yeah. And then I want to highlight.
We got to talk about the drinks.
Yeah, I want to highlight the drinks.
So let's tee this up for you there, Natalie.
The best.
All of the drinks, not only are they handcrafted with fresh ingredients and absolutely amazing, but the liquors aren't the liquors that you'd think. They're all from female-focused distilleries that are owned by great women. How cool is that, too, Natalie? Yeah.
I mean, when we're talking about, I've seen a couple of people talk about the attention to detail here, and that is through everything. And I want to shout out our assistant director of food and beverage. Her name is Jasmine Diaz, and the cocktail list is really her baby. She wanted to make sure that for all of the ingredients, mostly all of the ingredients that she was using, they were coming from female-owned businesses and distilleries. So for example, one of the cocktails, all of the ingredients come from Republic Restoratives, which is a local DC distillery. It's actually located up the street. Another one, which is the La Catrina cocktail, features tequila from Casa Dragones, and the owner is a female. Her name is Bertha, and she is actually known as the first lady of tequila. Ooh. And she has her actual drink here as well. So it's great. I mean, all of the cocktails feature that women empowerment theme as well. And they're just a hit in DC. Like, you're always very nervous about like, are people thinking it's a gimmick or anything? But everyone is walking in here. We have groups of 4 people, and we socially distance everything. And we make sure that we're cleaning and sanitizing and being, really respectful of COVID as well. But people just love the cocktail list, and I really put that forth to Jasmine.
But if I could, I got to jump on a word you just said. You said the word gimmick, and we've been
that's what I was going to say.
and we've been in this industry for a long time. And and one of the things when people say to me, like, well, Anthony, the martini on the rock that I did at the Algonquin was a gimmick, or this is a gimmick. No. The martini was basically a standard, was a staple at the Algonquin. Mm-hmm. Getting engaged was a staple at the Algonquin. Everyone got engaged at the Algonquin. So we brought the history together and we came up with this great marketing idea. What I love about this hotel, it's not gimmicky.
No, not at all.
It's crunchy. You feel it. You've owned it. I mean, you've taken some major chances, including Ruth Bader Ginsburg and what that's made out of. Mm-hmm. You some of your buttons, it's like, what's the button, your favorite button?
periods are awesome or
Periods are
something?
awesome.
My favorite button here is something that says periods are cool, just
cool.
because everyone is like, what?
No, and what I love about it, it's like what was that the Domino's commercial when he said, "Hey, we stink, but we'll be better tomorrow," and everybody
Right.
said, "No, you
Yeah,
didn't."
when they admitted their
I
pizza
like the
sucks.
fact that you
Yeah.
like, listen, we're female, we're powerful, and you know we have all kinds of things that we care about.
Mhm.
And one of the things that, listen, we have different needs than men, and our bodies are different than men, and you
Mhm.
celebrate it. And it's not something that we don't talk about it, because in my generation, you didn't talk about it. Now,
Mhm.
having 3 girls that are, 18 and twins that are 21, it's talked about.
Yeah.
And I'm usually running the other way. But I love that you went there. You did it. It's not gimmicky. It feels
Mhm.
it. And then last night when we're sitting there, and I'll be honest, we had a long day, and we're like, wow. And we had a late lunch. It's like, hey, the chef's here, and he's going to provide us with these cocktails and this food. And it wasn't one of those moments where it's like we're starving and we have 5 hours and we just want to gorge ourselves and just do it. We're like, okay, let's be respectful, and we'd
Mhm.
love to do it.
Yeah.
We sat down, and then it was just like, oh my God, this is insane.
Mhm. Yeah. And, the story of female empowerment is not a gimmick. How could it be? I mean,
Thank you.
there's been so much sacrifice throughout the years. And for someone to say, oh, this story is a gimmick, we're like, no.
No, that's it. That's that.
Not
that,
at
even,
all.
that is so. That you know what? That's. I want to use some foul language, but that is so. It's insanity. How can a woman's gimmick? I just think.
Right.
You want to insult me? This is how you insult me. You tell me it's like, oh, you have 3 girls. Oh, you didn't try for the boy? You want to piss me off? Say that to me.
Yeah.
Or just tell me sucks at poker.
That's okay. I do too.
But all right. So I got to tell you, Natalie, you are an awesome.
Isn't she great?
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
I love your energy. You really know your
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh,
too.
appreciate it. It's not hard to get really excited about something once you really believe in it. and
Now,
you
let
do
me ask you
believe in it.
another question for all those young girls out there that are looking to get into hospitality or just business in general.
Mhm.
Did you have the same level of enthusiasm and confidence when you were coming up? Or and did you play sports when you were a girl, so you were always this badass woman? Or is it something that it just took a long time for you to really gain your confidence?
I mean, I think having confidence when you're younger, especially for people who, are my age group, which are like, in the 30s, was kind of hard for a lot of people, because I still think we did not have the opportunities or the role models that we had that a lot of people have today. I try to get excited for everything that I do, because if I wasn't working on something and I didn't believe in it, it would be really hard for me to sort of stick with it. And the projects that I have had the opportunity to work for have all been like incredibly cool to work with. Everything from New York to opening up hotels in West Hollywood to opening up hotels in Philadelphia, which is one of my favorite cities in the entire world. When I tell people that, they usually stare at me like I've grown another head. But this one, for me, the concept behind it, the story behind it, the people who have been involved in it, it's overwhelming. And it's helped me as a marketer, and it's helped me as a female leader to say, if you have ambitions, or if you have things that you want to accomplish in your life, and you work with the right people who believe in you, or you seek out the great female leaders that you admire and ask for advice, more often than not, they're going to give it to you. They're going to help you in your career. And that's what I did. And it's got me to the point where I am now.
Congratulations. And
Thank you.
And isn't it great to come to work or work with a hotel that you don't have to think about how to market it? It market itself. How many times have you been in a hotel and you're like, holy crap, what do I do here? Like we have beds and we have walls and we have a front desk and we have a bar. Like, isn't it great when I took over the Algonquin, the Nickelodeon, or the Plaza when I was a front office manager? It's like, I love these iconic hotels that they do the job for you. All you got to do is be a steward of it.
Yeah. I'm going to give you an example to go off of that. So, talk about a hotel that markets itself. So we had a local person come in here, a young lady, and she wanted to film a TikTok. I just joined TikTok. It's like one of the greatest platforms I've ever joined. It's addicting
My
to
wife
be on.
is addicted.
It is. It's
Hours
addicting
and hours.
to
And
be
it's
on.
fun, and it's fun.
I think, 'cause
It
it's
is.
not caustic like those other social media sites.
Exactly. It's super fun. And, she had sent us an email the day after she filmed her TikTok, and she said, hey, FYI, I was in the neighborhood. I wanted to film a video of your hotel. Here's the link to it, just as an FYI in case you see something. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So as the day progressed, she emailed me again. She said, hey, FYI, I think this is about to go viral. And I went, what do you mean? And she said, I have racked up about 10,000 views in 30 minutes of this TikTok. And it's at 500,000 views at this point.
Wow.
And the comments about it are amazing. And people are like, this concept is great. I love this. This is where I'm going to stay in DC when it's going on. And this, TikTok, I think is still, as a hotel brand, I don't know if there's like a ton of hotels that are really sort of using this platform as much as possible, but it's a good lesson for me that there's always something new and interesting. And when you have a story that people believe in and that people love and they gravitate towards too, it's just so easy to say, well, you know what, this, as long as people love it and people are responding to it positively,
But it's got to be
working out.
authentic. And I will tell you
Yes.
something. A lot of marketing people in hospitality don't know how to be authentic.
Mhm.
They know how to be contrived and kind of put something out there that looks so special. Look at the guy on the skateboard with the cranberry juice.
Oh, I love him.
Right, everybody does. He
He's
blew
so
up. The guy's
cool.
making millions of dollars. He just got married, by the way. And it's got to be like, the reason it worked is because no one from the hotel did it. It was just a local person that did it for fun, and it worked, and it was organic and authentic. And so when people do TikTok for hotels, just remember something: give it to the youngest person on your team and get out of their way.
Yeah, because I
Or
love
give it to
TikTok.
a
and I was
15-year-old
just
that's staying
oh
in your
my God.
hotel. Just give it to a 15-year-old and say, do something.
Can
and
your
make it go
daughters
viral.
come down here and film TikTok, please? I'll help them.
You
I don't know what to
I
do,
think
but I'll help.
I think they're a little old because they're 21. I think you have to be like 12 now.
No. So
No?
actually this year, I think, is the first year that the average age of TikTok has started to rise because a
Wow.
lot of millennials who are home are starting to use it.
Look at okay, I'm going to say a name that anybody over 40 probably doesn't know. Anybody under 40 knows. Charlie from TikTok. You know who that is?
Charlie D'Amelio. Yeah.
What happened? What is that?
I don't know, but I'm going to need her to come start filming some TikToks on our rooftop.
I think of because I'm old. I think of Charlie the Starfish Tuna.
No, but you know who I'm talking about, Glenn? Okay, this young lady has gone mainstream and she just had someone leave one of the biggest talent agencies in California. Okay, he left as president to become president of her brand because they think she's the next Kardashian without the over the top, makeup and all that stuff. She's just a kid that was in a bedroom.
She's 17.
She said, but not like a 17-year-old trying to like be something she's not. She was just like goofing on her family.
Yeah. And, it ties into that authenticity factor. Like, she is authentic to herself. She knows what she likes. She knows what her followers like as well. And people respond positively to that. So I think if you bring forth that level of authenticity in whatever you do, as far as its brand or if as far as, it's specific artwork that you have, people respond to it positively. And luckily people have felt the same way about this hotel.
Absolutely. Like, even look at our show, man. We just started and then all of a sudden it's blown up, and it's just simply because we show you what looks great, and we also show you our technical issues and all the things we do wrong.
Not today.
No, my God. Oh, I just jinxed it. Like,
It's all right. We're almost at it. We're almost wrapping up. I'm feeling confident that today went.
Okay. I'm scared.
Yeah, but my point is authenticity is what matters. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we've all been around that person that may not didn't go to Ivy League, maybe isn't the most articulate, but a person that is true to who they are and themselves that's what people want to be around.
Right.
Because we all feel insecure. We all try to look better than we are. And when you're around other people, it's just like, and that's what like inspired me when I met you. There was something about the way you sat down, the way you even said hello to me. It's like, I've been here before. I'm not impressed. I'm not like, I'm here. It's like, I love this hotel. And like, you were just so comfortable in your skin.
Oh, thank you.
Now, were you that comfortable in your skin when you were a 15-year-old girl? Were you always confident?
No. Oh my God. Not at all. Not at all. I think it's a learning curve for a lot of people. And again, I shout out the really great leaders who I have learned from to, encourage me to speak up. I mean, I was president of my course when I was in high school, so
All right, show off.
All right. But then, my dad was an educator. By the way, he loves Dr. Jill Biden, FYI. So shout out to her. That's his new lady crush.
You loved who?
Dr. Jill Biden.
Oh, okay.
He's like, we got a teacher in the White House. But I think, he has been also somebody who, you talk about men are really great male figures who contribute to female equality and gender equality. And it doesn't have to be these really famous people that we sketch and we put on artwork. It's people who are in your own home and people who day to day who are giving you those encouraging words and encouraging you to be the best version of yourself and to speak up and to say, hey, this feels right or this feels wrong. And he's certainly done that for me my whole life.
Wow. Excellent. Well, I feel like I got to bring out my inner warrior princess after being here. This has been absolutely incredible, Natalie.
Just so you know, you don't have to bring it out. It's always there.
We got a costume in the back.
All right, Natalie. For those folks that may have been joining late, tell us exactly where we are again in Washington D.C.
We are in the brand new Hotel Zena. Is just opened in the heart of Washington D.C. We are so happy to be here. Thank you so much for having us on the show, and we can't wait to welcome you to D.C. AKA inauguration is just around the corner. So if you need a spot, come on down. We got the spot for you.
That's a really good point. And by the way, we just had technical issues. My computer's about to die.
Well, the good news is
womp womp.
that we made it through the show. Oh,
Yay!
We'll do this sound.
Oh, we finally used the sound. All right.
Anthony, you're allowing us to use one a month, so
That's right.
I just blew it. All right, everybody, this was great. Natalie, shameless plug for the hotel. If people do want to come here, how can we find it? How can they stay here?
HotelZena.com, and also follow us on Instagram at Hotel Zena.
Excellent. Thank you so much for being here, Natalie.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you, Natalie.
Thank you.
All right, Anthony. I know you were inspired, right?
You know what? I love this show, man. I love this show. Every day is another, it's another history lesson. It's another inspiring executive that empowers me and makes me feel like, wow, this is a great career field. And you can see, she worked in New York. She worked in Philadelphia. She worked in California. She's opening up a hotel that no one's ever done before. Think about that as a career, that you get to meet all these interesting people. Yep. You get to learn things. You get to be around great food, great drinks, great people, history. And I love bringing people like her on because it shows how wonderful our industry is and how it is going to be here after we get through this period of what we're going through. We're going to have an incredible industry to come back to, and she's inspiring.
Right. All right, Anthony. I think we're losing you now. I'm going to pull you out of the room and put you back in the room and see how that works. All right. We're losing Anthony now. The computer's dying. It's an old machine. That
just take us out.
That may have fallen yesterday, but that's another thing to talk about. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. Now tomorrow we're going to be up in Baltimore, or as the locals say, Baltimore, at Maryland Live Casino, talking to the president of all the casinos with the Cordish Company. That's going to be a great conversation. So I look forward to that. Remember, you have one life, so blaze on. Thanks for checking in. And as Anthony says, take care of yourself. Oh wait, here he is.
Be kind to yourself.
Be kind.